Section 8 of the Mabinogion, Volume 1. Translated by Lady Charlotte Guest. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Martin Geeson. Section 8. And the first night Peredur came to Caerlleon, to Arthur's court, and as he walked in the city after his repast, behold, there met him Angharad law Eirog. By my faith, sister, said Peredur, thou art a beauteous and lovely maiden, and were it pleasing to thee, I could love thee above all women. I pledge my faith, said she, that I do not love thee, nor will I ever do so. I also pledge my faith, said Peredur, that I will never speak a word to any Christian again, until thou come to love me above all men. The next day Peredur went forth by the high road, along a mountain ridge, and he saw a valley of a circular form, the confines of which were rocky and wooded. And the flat part of the valley was in meadows, and there were fields betwixt the meadows and the wood. And in the bosom of the wood he saw large black houses, of uncouth workmanship. And he dismounted, and led his horse towards the wood. And a little way within the wood he saw a rocky ledge, along which the road lay, and upon the ledge was a lion, bound by a chain, and sleeping. And beneath the lion he saw a deep pit of immense size, full of the bones of men and animals. And Peredur drew his sword, and struck the lion, so that he fell into the mouth of the pit, and hung there by the chain. And with a second blow he struck the chain, and broke it, and the lion fell into the pit, and Peredur led his horse over the rocky ledge, until he came into the valley. And in the centre of the valley he saw a fair castle, and he went towards it. And in the meadow by the castle he beheld a huge grey man sitting, who was larger than any man he had ever before seen. And two young pages were shooting the hilts of their daggers of the bone of the sea-horse. And one of the pages had red hair, and the other auburn. And they went before him to the place where the grey man was. And Peredur saluted him. And the grey man said, Disgrace to the beard of my porter. Then Peredur understood that the porter was the lion. And the grey man and the pages went together into the castle, and Peredur accompanied them. And he found it a fair and noble place. And they proceeded to the hall, and the tables were already laid, and upon them was abundance of food and liquor. And thereupon he saw an aged woman and a young woman come from the chamber. And they were the most stately women he had ever seen. Then they washed, and went to meat, and the grey man sat in the upper seat at the head of the table, and the aged woman next to him. And Peredur and the maiden were placed together, and the two young pages served them. And the maiden gazed sorrowfully upon Peredur, and Peredur asked the maiden wherefore she was sad. For thee, my soul, for from when I first beheld thee, I have loved thee above all men. and it pains me to know that so gentle a youth as thou should have such a doom as awaits thee to morrow. Sawest thou the numerous black houses in the bosom of the wood? All these belong to the vassals of the grey man yonder, who is my father, and they are all giants. And to morrow they will rise up against thee, and will slay thee. And the round valley is this valley called. Listen, fair maiden, wilt thou contrive that my horse and arms be in the same lodging with me to night? Gladly will I cause it so to be, by heaven, if I can. And when it was time for them to sleep rather than to carouse, they went to rest. And the maiden caused Peredur's horse and arms to be in the same lodging with him. And the next morning Peredur heard a great tumult of men and horses around the castle. And Peredur arose, and armed himself and his horse, and went to the meadow. Then the aged woman and the maiden came to the grey man. "Lord," said they, "take the word of the youth, that he will never disclose what he has seen in this place, and we will be his sureties that he keep it." "I will not do so, by my faith," said the grey man. So Peredur fought with the host, and towards evening he had slain the 1/3 of them, without receiving any hurt himself. Then said the aged woman, "Behold, many of thy host have been slain by the youth. Do thou therefore grant him mercy." "I will not grant it, by my faith," said he. And the aged woman and the fair maiden were upon the battlements of the castle, looking forth. And at that juncture Peredur encountered the yellow haired youth, and slew him. "Lord," said the maiden, "grant the young man mercy." "That I will not do, by heaven," he replied. And thereupon Peredur attacked the auburn haired youth, and slew him likewise. "It were better thou hadst accorded mercy to the youth, before he had slain thy 2 sons, for now scarcely wilt thou thyself escape from him." "Go, maiden, and beseech the youth to grant mercy unto us, for we yield ourselves into his hands." So the maiden came to the place where Peredur was, and besought mercy for her father, and for all such of his vassals as had escaped alive. "Thou shalt have it, on condition that thy father, and all that are under him, go and render homage to Arthur, and tell him that it was his vassal Peredur that did him this service." "This will we do willingly, by heaven. And you shall also receive baptism, and I will send to Arthur, and beseech him to bestow this valley upon thee, and upon thy heirs after thee for ever." Then they went in, and the grey man and the tall woman saluted Peredur. And the grey man said unto him, "Since I have possessed this valley, I have not seen any Christian depart with his life, save thyself. And we will go to do homage to Arthur, and to embrace the faith, and be baptized." Then said Peredur, "To heaven I render thanks, that I have not broken my vow to the lady that best I love, which was, that I would not speak one word unto any Christian.